Greetings, Holt County. Welcome to another edition of Eye on Holt County. Spring has arrived here in Holt County. The grass is turning green, and I even have a tree blooming and growing some beautiful buds in my backyard. Speaking of growing, this week's program focus is on the Grow O'Neill efforts that have been recently brought to residents' attention here in O'Neill. Grow O'Neill is made up of a group of interested citizens who are trying to educate the community about O'Neill's economic development plan and strategy for growth. The committee is educating the community about a tool that 59 other communities in Nebraska are utilizing to help create jobs and expand the tax base in their communities. The tool is called LB 840 for short, but its long technical legal name is the Local Option Municipal Economic Development Act. The Local Option Municipal Economic Development Act is based on the premise that communities should use their own tax dollars in ways that best meet local needs. While ongoing planning processes in many towns have identified the development, job creation, and increased economic opportunity as their highest priority for their future, a variety of laws prohibit local public funds to be used this way. The removal of these limitations give municipalities greater latitude in determining and acting upon their local needs. O'Neill isn't the only community in Holt County to be talking about the Local Option Municipal Economic Development Act at this time. Voters in Atkinson will be voting on whether or not to allow all of their funds collected to be used with their program. When Atkinson voters approved their plan back in 2001, it was estimated they would be able to collect $65,000 a year to fund their plan. Retail sales have more than doubled since voters approved their plan, and now they are actually collecting more than $120,000 a year. The vote in Atkinson will simply allow them to use all of their funds collected for their economic development plan. Voters in O'Neill, however, will be voting on two issues in May. The first issue will be on the economic development plan. The second issue will be on the monies to be used to fund the economic development plan, which is a proposed 0.5% sales tax increase. But let's first talk about what's included in O'Neill's economic development plan. Some of the eligible activities to be funded with the approval of the plan include direct loans to qualifying businesses for fixed assets and/or working capital for business expansions, business startups, and business recruitment, workforce development and recruitment, housing, downtown revitalization, demolition of commercial, industrial, and residential properties, and also public works improvements. Eligible applicants for funds include businesses that are in the retail, service, tourism, housing, telecommunications, manufacturing industries, and more. Applicants seeking to apply for these funds will complete an application with the help of the program administrator and/or Holt County Economic Development. Once the application is complete, a 5-member finance committee would review the application and supporting documents. The committee will take a look at the credibility of the application, the ability for loan payback, and the economic impact the project will have on the community of O'Neill. This finance committee will consist of members who have experience in finance, accounting, and business. Members will be appointed by the O'Neill City Council. Also included in the plan is the requirement of a Citizens Advisory Committee. This committee is the oversight or the watchdog committee. Their role is to make sure that all projects that are approved and funded by the Finance Committee are indeed allowable by the plan. They will make regular reports to the O'Neill City Council on their findings. The second issue O'Neill voters will be deciding on is a sales tax increase to fund the economic development plan. O'Neill voters will be voting on whether or not to increase the local sales tax from 1% to 1.5%. If approved, this 0.5% increase would go into effect for 15 years. It's estimated that this sales tax would bring in roughly $240,000 a year to start off with. These dollars can only be used for activities that are allowed under the O'Neill Economic Development Plan. What will this cost you? This tax increase is not a tax on real estate. Items that aren't taxed now will not be taxed with this new increase. So items such as your unprepared food from the grocery store, prescriptions, durable medical equipment, farm machinery, animal feed, seeds and plants for agricultural use, and agriculture chemicals. Let's say you were to purchase a shovel that cost you $20. It would cost you an extra 10 cents in tax for that shovel. If you went out for lunch and spent $8 on your lunch at a local restaurant, it would cost you an extra 4 cents in tax. Maybe you have a bigger item to purchase. Maybe your family needs a new TV. The new high-definition TV maybe cost $1,000. This proposed tax would cost you an additional $5 on your purchase. The O'Neill community has some pretty amazing things going on right now for them. O'Neill's population today is actually greater than what it was back in 1950. However, if we continue our population trends, we won't be able to say that for much longer. If passed, the City of O'Neill's Economic Development Plan can help turn this trend around. To keep our area moving forward, it takes an investment, and without this tool, O'Neill is at a competitive disadvantage in our efforts to grow. I encourage you to learn more about O'Neill's Economic Development Plan. Seek out one of the 59 communities in Nebraska who are utilizing this tool to help create jobs, grow their population and tax base. Visit communities like Ainsworth, Atkinson, Ord, St. Paul, Albion, Broken Bow, and many others, and see how this program is working for them. Visit the website growo'neill.com and educate yourself on this issue so you can make an informed decision when you go to the polls on May 15th. That wraps up this edition of Eye on Holt County. I'm Nicole Sedlacek, and thank you for watching. Join me again next week right here on Eye on Holt County.